endocrine secretions, or all the glands will comes under endocrine system. So coming to the next, so endocrine glands will secrete the chemical called hormones. So hormones will control our body. In our whole body, two systems will be controlling us. One is nervous system, other one is endocrine system. Nervous system is by electrical stimulus, and endocrine system is through hormones. So what the hormones will do is, it will increase or decrease the metabolic rate. What is metabolism means? The sum of all the chemical reactions in our body. It will speed up or it will speed down. And water and mineral balance. It will maintain the water and mineral balance, and immune system reactions. So our major T lymphocytes are being generated by hormone. And also at the same time, just a moment. Could you please hold? Hello. బాగున్నా. ఐ హోప్ మీకు ఇందులో ఇష్యూ అనుకుంటాను, కనెక్టింగ్ లో ఇష్యూ అనుకుంటాను. నేను రేపటి నుంచి జాయిన్ అవ్వండి, నేను రేపటి నుంచి జూమ్ కి మారుస్తాను క్లాస్.
మేడం అంటే వాట్ అబౌట్ అంటే మీరు కనెక్షన్ గురించి వైఫై గురించి అంటున్నారు?
కాదు కాదు కాదు, కొంతమందికి జూమ్ రాదు, చాలా మందికి ప్రాబ్లం ఉంది.
మ్యామ్ మీరు వెబెక్స్ అన్నారుగా మేడం?
వెబెక్సే, సారీ సిస్కో వెబెక్సే. ఇప్పుడు
ఇంట్రో క్లాస్
మరి రావాలి, ఇప్పుడు అందరూ కనెక్ట్ అయ్యారు. ఎందుకు కనెక్ట్ అవ్వట్లేదు?
మేడం మీటింగ్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇస్ రాంగ్ అని వస్తుంది మేడం. నాది
ఒక్కసారి ట్రై చేయరా? లేదు అంటే అందరూ కనెక్ట్ అయ్యారు, ఆ లింక్ క్లిక్ చేసి. మీరు ఆ లింకే కదా క్లిక్ చేసింది?
అదే నేను క్లిక్ చేశాను మేడం.
కానీ ఎందుకు రావట్లేదు?
నేను కనెక్ట్ అయింది మేడం, నాకు వేరే మనోజ్ అని
అంటే వాళ్ళ లింక్ వేరు. ఇప్పుడు మే గ్రూప్ లో ఉంది కదా, ఆ లింకే కదా మీరు?
ఆ లింకే పెట్టాను నేను, ఆ లింకే పెట్టాను.
ఇంకొకసారి ట్రై చేయండి.
ఓకే.
Okay, we'll continue. Okay. And sexual functions. So mainly the hormones like estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, all these hormones are the things will be controlling our body primary and secondary sexual characters. So coming to the organs of endocrine system. Adrenal gland means this gland is present on the top of the kidney. Adrenal, adding to renal. And next, ovaries. Ovaries are present in the pelvic region. And pancreas are present in the stomach region. And parathyroid glands, pineal gland, pituitary gland, testis, thymus gland, and thyroid gland. So these are all the glands which release the secretions directly into the blood. Those secretions we call it as hormones. So let me show you in the picture. So in this here, so first picture is about pineal gland. You can see the pineal gland here. So this is pineal gland. Pineal gland will be in the size of small pea size. That's why they named it as pineal gland. And next, this is thyroid. Thyroid is present in the neck region. And nearby the thyroid, we have 4 other glands called parathyroid. Okay, and this is adrenal gland, present on the top of the kidney. And this is pancreas, present in the stomach region. So the releases of the pancreas will release insulin and glucagon. And next, this is pituitary. We also call it as master gland because it controls all the other glands. And the pituitary is in turn controlled by hypothalamus. And this is thymus. Thymus is present in the chest region. And next, ovaries. Ovaries are in the pelvic region. And this is testis. So these are the glands which is present in our body. So coming to the medical terms, what are related to the endocrine system? Acro means extremities. Our fingers and means our extremes of our body are nothing but foot and hands. We call it as extremities of our body. Adreno is adrenal gland. Adrenalo is also adrenal gland. Andro is male. For example, androgen, male producing hormones. Calco is calcium. Crino is secretion. Estro is female. So estrogen is female producing hormones. Glyco or glycoso, both is sugar. For example, glycemia. So the presence of blood sugar. Gonado is sex glands. Ovaries and testes will comes under gonado. Homeo is sameness, means maintaining the same internal body temperature. Cal means potassium. So the chemical symbol for potassium is K. Natro or natrium is sodium, because natrium is sodium in Greek. Ophthalmo means eye. So ophthalmology, study of eye. Pancreato is pancreas. Parathyroido is parathyroid gland. Pinealo is pineal gland. Pituitaro is pituitary gland. Thymo is thymus gland. Thyro is thyroid gland. And thyroido is also thyroid gland. Toxico is poison. And crine means to secrete. Dipsia means thirst. Prandial, related to after the meal. So anything, so related to meal, if it is postprandial, after the meal. If it is preprandial, before the meal. Tropin means to stimulate. So let's see the anatomy and physiology, and each and every gland, what and all the hormones are released by the gland, and what happens, what is the action of the hormones, and what is its pathology. So endocrine system is collection of glands which releases the hormones directly into the bloodstream. So from the blood, it will go to the target organs. For example, pancreas. So pancreas will release the two hormones, insulin and glucagon. It will directly act on the cells to intake the glucose. Means glucose metabolism is mainly maintained by insulin and glucagon. So through blood, it will maintain it. And it also maintains the homeostasis, means maintaining the stable internal environment. Coming to the types of glands, usually in our body we have two types of glands. One is exocrine glands, other one is endocrine glands. Exocrine glands are the glands which releases the secretions outside the blood. For example, salivary glands, which releases the secretions outside the blood. You can see the saliva. Sweat glands, sebaceous glands, tear glands, means lacrimal glands. So likewise, these glands will release the secretions outside the blood. And we also call these glands as duct glands. Duct means, so from the gland, there will be a tubular extension. The tube will be present for exocrine gland and endocrine gland. Endocrine gland are the glands which releases the secretions, hormones directly into the bloodstream. There are no any tubes or ducts. So that's why we referred it as ductless glands. The example is thyroid gland. And coming to the number of glands, adrenal gland is 2. Parathyroid glands are 4. Pancreas 1. Pineal gland 1. Pituitary gland is also 1. Just remind, pituitary is the master gland of all the other glands. Ovaries 2. Testis 2. Thymus 1. Thyroid 1. So let's see the very first gland, adrenal gland. So in this picture, you can able to see clearly. So this is present on the top of the kidney. This is adrenal gland. We have two adrenal glands because we have two kidneys. So in the adrenal gland, in the longitudinal section, you can see this outer part. So this outer region, we call it as adrenal cortex. And the inner region is adrenal medulla. So wherever commonly the outer region will be the cortex, inner region will be medulla. And this is the adrenal gland. And next, the hormones produced by adrenal gland, we call it as corticosteroids, because all the adrenal cortex hormones are made up of cholesterol. So that's why we call it as corticosteroids. It was secreted by adrenal cortex, and there are 3 types of corticosteroids: mineralocorticoids, glucocorticoids, steroid sex hormones. So first one, mineralocorticoids. Mineralocorticoids will maintain the sodium and potassium levels in the blood. So the example for mineralocorticoids is aldosterone. And next, glucocorticoids. Glucocorticoids, in the name itself, you have the meaning. Glucocorticoids will maintain the carbohydrates level in our blood. Example, cortisol. So for example, when the patient is in an emergency, So they will inject, the doctor will inject the injection called cortisol. So cortisol is an emergency injection. And steroid sex hormones are androgen, estrogen, progesterone. These are the sex hormones which is released by adrenal cortex. So to maintain the secondary sexual characters. So what is secondary sexual characters is, so voice, our growth of the hair, development of beard and mustache, body type, all these things will comes under secondary sexual characters. And next, in adrenal medulla, which is the inner portion, this secretes only two hormones. One is epinephrine and other one is norepinephrine. Epinephrine, we also call it as adrenaline or noradrenaline. So these are emergency hormones. So there will be two situations in our life. One is when we are very in an emergency, and other thing is when we are very cool and calm. So when the person is overexcited or in an emergency, so what are the changes will takes place in the body is their heart rate will increase, blood pressure will increase, respiratory rate will increase. At the same time, their temperature also will get increases. The amount of glucose present in the blood also will get increased. So these things will make us to be overexcited. So the reason for this is for the release of adrenal medulla hormones, epinephrine and norepinephrine. Next is ovaries. Ovaries are located in the pelvic region of the females. It will secrete the two important hormones. One is estrogen and other one is progesterone. Estrogen is responsible for maintaining female sexual characteristics and also for regulating the menstrual cycle. Progesterone, which is pregnancy hormone. It will maintain the stable internal environment in the uterus for carrying the baby. And in this picture, you can able to see, this is the ovary. Ovary, we also call it as gonads because that will release the egg at the same time that will secrete the hormones. And next hormone is pancreas. Pancreas is situated in the abdominal region. So pancreas, pan means all, creas is secretion. It will secrete both exocrine and endocrine. Exocrine secretions will be released into the intestine, into the duodenum. That exocrine hormones will digest the food, will help for digesting the food. And endocrine part will release the two important hormones. One is insulin and other one is glucagon. And in this picture, you can able to see it. So this is islets of Langerhans. So remaining part will comes under exocrine part. This part alone will comes under endocrine part because this part alone will secrete the two hormones, insulin and glucagon. And this part will secrete the exocrine part. So will secrete the digestive enzymes which will be released through a duct into the duodenum. And next, insulin. What the insulin will do is, in the pancreas we have alpha cells and beta cells. Alpha cells will produce the glucagon. Beta cells will produce the insulin. So what the insulin will do is, it will decrease the blood sugar levels. So the blood sugar levels will be decreased by insulin. So it will be released immediately after taking the meal. And for absorbing the carbohydrates, glucose will come under carbohydrates. So it will absorb the carbohydrates and that will be taken into the cell for energy purpose. And glucagon, which is produced by alpha cells, it stimulates the liver to release the stored glucose into the bloodstream. So it will be for rising the blood sugar levels. So pancreas will glucagon will increase the blood sugar level and insulin will decrease the blood sugar level. Both will act in a contradiction manner. So that's how our blood glucose level will be maintained in a stable. If there is a hormone for increasing, obviously there will be an opposite hormone for decreasing also. And next gland is parathyroid gland. So in this picture, you can able to see that. So here green color spots are nothing but parathyroid glands. So we have 4 tiny parathyroid glands situated nearby the thyroid gland on the back side of the thyroid gland. And it will produce a hormone called parathormone or parathyroid hormone that will be released into the blood for regulating the calcium levels. So usually when the blood calcium level is low, then what the parath hormone will do is it will go to the bones. The target area is bone. It will go to the bones and stimulate the bones to release the calcium into the blood. That's how it will increase the blood calcium levels. And this is the parathyroid hormones present on the back side of the thyroid gland. And next gland is pineal gland. Pineal gland is a small pine shaped gland or cone shaped gland. So this is the pineal gland. So what the pineal gland will do is, so pineal gland is actually a part of thalamus of the brain. It was actually a part of brain. So pineal gland will release the hormone called melatonin. So melatonin, the role is not very well understood, but usually will comes into play by maintaining the circadian rhythms. Circadian rhythm means our 24-hour cycle. For example, per a day, we will sleep around 6 to 8 hours. After 8 hours, we will have our breakfast. After eating breakfast, after 4 hours, again we will feel hunger. We will feel a bit tired. So these things are being maintained by biological clocks in our body. So that biological clock is nothing but pineal gland. So after every period of time, our body will need something, either rest, meal, or sleep. So these things are controlled by melatonin hormone, which is released by pineal gland. And this is the pineal gland. And coming to the next gland, pituitary gland. Pituitary gland is also a small marble-shaped gland present beneath the brain. So in this picture, you can able to see that. So this is the pituitary gland. This is pituitary gland, and this is the one. So this pituitary gland has two parts. So the first thing, the front part we call it as anterior lobe, and the back part we call it as posterior lobe. And the pituitary gland is in turn controlled by hypothalamus. Actually, pituitary gland is the master gland because that controls all the other glands such as thyroid, adrenal, ovaries, testes. These glands are controlled by pituitary. But pituitary is again controlled by hypothalamus. And anterior pituitary. So coming to the parts, we have two parts. One is anterior pituitary, other one is posterior pituitary. Anterior pituitary is also called as master gland. So the anterior pituitary will releases the hormones called thyroid stimulating hormone. So in the name itself is there, it will regulate the functions of thyroid gland. Adrenocorticotropic hormone that will regulate the functions of adrenal cortex. And next, gonadotropins. There are two gonadotropin hormones, follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. Follicle stimulating hormone will maintain the development of egg and sperms and also stimulates the ovaries to secrete the estrogen. And luteinizing hormone. In females, luteinizing hormone will makes the woman to ovulate on the 14th day of menstrual cycle. So on every 14th day of the menstrual cycle, the woman will release the egg, one egg per month. So that was released by luteinizing hormone. And next, growth hormone. So growth hormone, we also call it as somatotropin, that will stimulate the cells to grow and divide. Prolactin, so that will stimulate the milk production in breast. And melanocyte stimulating hormone, that will stimulate the melanocytes to produce more melanin. So in this picture, you can able to see, this is anterior pituitary. So it controls the thyroid by thyroid stimulating hormone. So it will control the thyroid by thyroid stimulating hormone. It will control the adrenal cortex by adrenocorticotropic hormone. It will control the breast by prolactin and ovaries by follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. And testis also by follicle stimulating and luteinizing hormone. And this is growth hormone for the growth of height. If growth hormone is less produced, then the person will be dwarf. If the growth hormone is more produced, then the person will be gigantic. And coming to the next, posterior pituitary. So posterior pituitary will produce only two hormones. One is antidiuretic hormone and other one is vasopressin. Antidiuretic hormone or vasopressin. So in the you can see the name antidiuretic. It will prevent the formation of diluted urine. So because of this hormone only, our urine is concentrated because it will go to the kidneys and it will reabsorb more amount of water to the body. So that's how our urine is concentrated because of this hormone. And oxytocin. Oxytocin is actually the hormone which is released at the time of delivery. So when the woman was ready for after the full growth of the baby, when the woman was ready for the delivery, at that time the oxytocin will be released for uterine contractions. So that will make for the labor pains. And also it will stimulate the breast to release the milk. And next, testis. So testes are two oval glands located in the scrotum. So that will produce the male sex hormone called testosterone, and that is responsible for male secondary sexual characters and regulates the sperm production. And in this picture, you can able to see this is the testis. So in this testis, this Leydig cells will produce the male testosterone. These cells, these green color cells, we call it as Leydig cells. And next, thymus gland. Thymus gland is located in the chest region. We call that as mediastinum, in front of the heart. And that was a part of immune system. And we also call that as endocrine gland because it will secrete the hormone called thymosin. And thymosin is responsible for activation of T lymphocytes. T lymphocytes will fight against the body's immune system. Okay, and usually the thymus gland will be very large at the time of birth, but when the person is growing towards the puberty, it will shrink its size, and eventually it will be replaced by connective tissue and adipose tissue. So this is the thymus gland. So by the age of now, we don't have the thymus gland. That will be replaced by fat or connective tissue. And next, thyroid gland. So thyroid gland is located in the neck region on the either side of the trachea. It will be resembles very similar to the butterfly shape. It has the right lobe and left lobe. And the center connecting part, we call it as isthmus. And thyroid hormones we have two thyroid hormones. One is T3 and other one is T4. So the T3 and T4 are based on the number of iodine molecules. T4 is thyroxine. T3 is triiodothyronine. So for the production of thyroid hormones, we need iodine. And these hormones will regulate the energy production and also adjust the metabolic rate. And one more hormone is produced by thyroid gland, that is calcitonin. So calcitonin will regulate the level of calcium levels in the blood. So usually parathormone will increase the blood calcium levels. Calcitonin will decrease the blood calcium levels when the blood calcium levels is high. So this was quite opposite to the parathormone. How it will decrease the calcium levels is all the calcium will go back to the bones. So by moving the calcium back to the bones, so that's how it will decrease the blood calcium level. And this is the thyroid gland. You can see in the picture, we have the right lobe, left lobe, and the center part is isthmus. So let's see the word building part. Adrenal. Adrenal is related or pertaining to adrenal gland. Adrenomegaly. Megaly means becoming big. Enlargement of the adrenal gland. Adrenopathy. So adrenal gland disease. Adrenalectomy. Surgical removal of adrenal gland. Adrenalitis. Inflammation of adrenal gland. Hypercalcemia. Increased amount of calcium in the blood. Emia. If you have the emia as suffix means related to the blood. Hypocalcemia, decreased amount of calcium in the blood. Endocrinologist, the specialist in endocrine system. Endocrinopathy, endocrine system disease, because pathy is disease. Hypoglycemia, excess amount of sugar in the blood. Hypoglycemia, low amount of sugar in the blood. Hyperkalemia, excessive amount of potassium levels in the blood, because cal means potassium. Hyponatremia, low amount of sodium in the blood, because natro is sodium. Parathyroidal, pertaining to parathyroid. Parathyroidectomy, surgical removal of parathyroid gland. Hyperparathyroidism, a state of excessive parathormone. Hypoparathyroidism, a state of insufficient parathyroid. Pancreatic, pertaining to pancreas. Pituitary, pertaining to pituitary. And hypopituitarism, a state of low pituitary hormones. Hyperpituitarism, a state of excessive pituitary hormones. Thymic, pertaining to thymus. Thymectomy, surgical removal of thymus. Thymitis, inflammation of thymus. Thymoma, thymus tumor. Thyromegaly, enlargement of the thyroid gland. Thyroidal, pertaining to thyroid. Thyroidectomy, removal of the thyroid gland. And hyperthyroidism, excessive, a state of excessive thyroid. Hypothyroidism, so low level of thyroid hormones. So coming to the next vocabulary part. So we'll see the endocrine system vocabulary. Acidosis, excessive acidity in the body fluids, we call it as acidosis. And edema, just a moment. So acidosis is if the body usually our body is slightly alkaline. If the body fluids are moving towards acidity, then we call it as acidosis. Edema, excessive tissue fluids, we call it as edema. So excessive tissue fluid, if in the tissues, if more amount of fluids got deposited, then we call it as edema. Endocrinology, which is the diagnosis and treatment of conditions related to endocrine glands. Exophthalmos, exo means outside, ophthalmos means eyeball. So the eyeball will be protruding outside. Gynecomastia, development of breast tissue in males. So usually this is due to excessive amount of estrogen and progesterone in males leads to this condition. We call it as gynecomastia. For some males, the breast development will be there. Hirsutism, excessive amount of hair production. For some people, there will be more amount of hair on the body. That we call it as hirsutism. And this is the picture of exophthalmos. So this is a symptom of hyperthyroidism. So because of the excessive secretion of thyroid hormone, so this is the symptom, exophthalmos.
Your voice is breaking.
Yeah. Hello? Could you able to hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So it will be like the eyeball will be protruding outside. And hypersecretion. So excessive hormone production, we call it as hypersecretion. Insufficient hormone production is hyposecretion. Obesity. So usually having the abnormal body fat is called obesity. And syndrome. Syndrome is actually the group of signs and symptoms with a combined in one clinical picture. For example, if the person is having diabetes mellitus, then he will have some group of signs and symptoms such as lethargy, hyperglycemia, and polyuria, polydipsia. So likewise, we have n number of signs and symptoms in one clinical picture that we call it as syndrome. And Addison's disease. So first one is adrenal gland pathology. So what and all the abnormalities related to adrenal gland. In the adrenal gland pathology, the first one is Addison's disease. Hypo, decreased amount of secretion of the adrenal cortex, we call it as Addison's disease, such as mineralocorticoids, glucocorticoids, and steroid sex hormones. All these secretions are decreased, then it leads to Addison's disease. The person will have generalized weakness and weight loss. Adrenal feminization. If the male person is having excessive amount of estrogen and progesterone released by adrenal cortex of the male, then the person will have the secondary sexual characters like gynecomastia. Gynecomastia means development of breast. So this condition will be, we call it as adrenal feminization. So the male will have the female characters. And adrenal viralism. So this is the quite opposite to adrenal feminization. The females will be behaving more like males because of excessive amount of testosterone by adrenal cortex in females. So they will have the male secondary sexual characters. Like for some women, there will be development of mustache. So little amount of mustache will be developed. That is because of excess amount of testosterone in females. And next, Cushing syndrome. Cushing syndrome was quite opposite. Excessive, more amount of secretion of adrenal cortex. The person will be weak, edema, excessive hair growth. We call it as hirsutism and osteoporosis. And next, pheochromocytoma. This is because of the hypersecretion of epinephrine and norepinephrine by adrenal medulla because of some tumor. So the person will have more amount of excitement like anxiety, heart palpitation, dyspnea, and headache. Next, pancreas pathology, diabetes mellitus, so which is a chronic disorder of carbohydrate metabolism. The results are hyperglycemia and glycosuria. Means excess amount of blood sugar level. At the same time, in their urine glucose will be there. So there are two different types of diabetes mellitus. One is type 1, insulin dependent, and type 2, non-insulin dependent. So let's see what is type 1 and type 2. In the type 1, we call it as insulin dependent. So it will be developed early in the life. In the type 2, it will develop later in the life. At the age of 50 or 60, they'll develop type 2. But if the person got developed by 20s or 30s, that is type 1 diabetes mellitus. So type 1 is because of destruction of islets of Langerhans. And type 2 is because of the insulin is not responding properly. So they will have sufficient amount of insulin, but the insulin will not be working properly. And in the type 1, the person has to take insulin injections to replace the decreased amount of insulin. But for the type 2, the person do not take any insulin. So this type of diabetes has to be treated with diet, exercise, and oral medications. And next, diabetic retinopathy. This is a complication of diabetes. Their retina will get damaged. That is diabetic retinopathy. And ketoacidosis. So when the person is having diabetes, then they'll have ketone bodies more will be present in the blood. So if the ketone bodies got increased in the blood will become acidic, which is a serious complication of ketoacidosis. And peripheral neuropathy. This is also a diabetes mellitus complication. So if you could have seen, if the person is having diabetes, they will have the pains and pins and needle sensations in their legs and hands. So that is because of damage to the peripheral nerves. And insulinoma, islets of Langerhans tumor. So the person will secrete excess amount of insulin. And next, parathyroid gland pathology. First one is tetany. Tetany is because of nerve hypoparathyroidism, which is decreased secretion of parath hormone. So if the parath hormone secretion got decreased, then the blood calcium level also will decreases. Then that leads to nerve irritability, painful muscle cramps due to hypocalcemia. And Recklinghorn's disease. This is quite opposite. Excessive secretion of parath hormone. This leads to degeneration of bones because continuously it will stimulate the bone to release more amount of calcium in the blood. And next, acromegaly. So in the case of excessive growth hormone secretion, then the person's head and hands and legs will get enlarged because of more amount of secretion of pituitary growth hormone. Diabetes insipidus. Diabetes insipidus because of decreased secretion of antidiuretic hormone, or we also call it as vasopressin. So the symptoms will be polyuria and polydipsia. Means continuously more frequently they will be urinating, frequently they will be having thirst. Dwarfism is quite opposite. Decreased amount of secretion of growth hormone. So the person will have stunt growth, means the person will be very short. So in this picture you can able to see this is acromegaly. So this, sorry, so this is normal hand, this is acromegaly hand. You can see there will be enlargement of the fingers because of excess amount of secretion of growth hormone in the adults. And next, gigantism. Gigantism is excessive secretion of growth hormone, and the person will be very tall enough. And panhypopituitarism, all the pituitary hormone secretions will get decreases. So the problems will be so all the remaining hormone remaining gland secretions also will get decreases. And next, cretinism, which is a congenital disease. Hyposecretion of thyroid results in poor physical and mental development. Goiter. Goiter is enlargement of the thyroid gland. And Graves' disease. Graves' disease is hypersecretion of thyroid, and the symptoms will be exophthalmos and goiter. So this is the picture of goiter. So the enlargement of the thyroid gland. And next, Hashimoto disease, which is an autoimmune disease. So there will be destruction of the thyroid gland and the secretion of thyroid hormones will decrease. Mixed edema. Mixed edema is also hyposecretion of thyroid hormone seen in adults. The symptoms will be anemia, edema, and mental lethargy. Thyrotoxicosis, which is hypersecretion of thyroid hormone. The person will have increased heart rate, tremors, thyromegaly, and weight loss. Adrenocarcinoma, so which is cancer to the adrenal gland. So the cancerous tumor in the gland, and that produces the hormone secreted by the gland. This results in hypersecretion of the adrenal cortex. Coming to the clinical laboratory test, blood serum test. So if we want to check the hormone levels, we have to go for the blood serum test. So in that they will check the hormone levels, calcium levels, glucose levels. Total calcium. So it measures the calcium in the blood, which is used to diagnose the parathormone or bone disorders. Radioimmunoassay measures the level of hormones in the blood. And next, fasting blood sugar. So usually this test is taken without taking the breakfast. So usually before the breakfast, they will ask the person to collect the blood. So then to see the amount of blood sugar, this is fasting blood sugar. And glucose tolerance test. So after taking several doses of glucose, and they will check the blood sugar level. And next, 2 hours postprandial glucose tolerance test. After 2 hours of meal, they will take the test. And protein bound iodine test. So this is to measure the T4 levels in the blood and iodine in the hormone. And next, thyroid function test. The amount of T3, T4 and thyroid stimulating hormones levels are being checked by thyroid function test. And next, thyroechogram. So the ultrasound image of the thyroid gland. Thyroid scan, which comes under nuclear medicine, they will use the radioactive iodine. So to check the entire thyroid gland. And next, coming to the medical treatments, chemical thyroidectomy. With the use of large dose of radioactive iodine, they will kill a portion of thyroid gland, usually seen in cancer patients, thyroid cancer. Hormone replacement therapy. If for example, hypothyroidism, hypopituitarism, then they will replace the missing hormones through injections and pills. And laparoscopic adrenalectomy, removal of adrenal gland through a small abdominal laparoscopic incision. So through abdominal incision, they will remove the adrenal gland. Lobectomy. So removing a portion of the thyroid lobe, we call it as lobectomy. So coming to the next thing, endocrine system pharmacology, anti-thyroid agents. which will blocks the production of thyroid hormones. Corticosteroids, which will replaces the adrenal cortex hormones. Human growth hormone therapy, which replaces the human growth hormone. And next, insulin. So this is to treat the type 1 diabetes mellitus. And oral hypoglycemic agents for type 2 diabetes. Thyroid replacement hormones to replace the thyroid hormones. Vasopressin, this is to treat the diabetes insipidus. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Any doubts regarding this topic?
Ma'am, in adrenal cortex, you explain about alpha beta glucose level, ma'am.
In adrenal cortex. That is not in adrenal cortex, that is in pancreas. In the pancreas, in the islets of Langerhans, we have two types of cells, alpha cells and beta cells. Alpha cells will produce glucagon. Beta cells will produce insulin.
Okay, ma'am. Glucose decreasing level will be in alpha phase, ma'am.
Insulin will decreases the blood sugar level. Glucagon will increases the blood